Bonjour à tous, bienvenue. Welcome to our very special lesson about French politics, society and culture. And in this session, we are going to analyze or to study together the good old way to measure public opinion, which is the election. So in this lesson, we are going to talk about how do we measure public opinion through election. Well, scientifically speaking, the election is a more scientific way to get a true or a much more true picture of a public opinion. Because in election, people vote. People make decision and they cast vote to certain candidates. So of course, we can, through studying those voting results, we can know how people think, why people decide to cast a vote to a certain candidate. So there are several elements or factors that can influence the decision of voters to cast their vote to certain candidate. For example, the first one, the party. Some people vote according to political party as long as the candidate is in the same political party, and then these people might vote these candidates. A second type of factor is about personal attributes, personality. People vote when some candidate is especially warm or kind or more open. A certain voter might vote because they belong to the same background or because they have the same experience. So all these are factors concerning personal attributes. And there are also, of course, the third kind of voter who votes according to issue. As long as the candidate provides solution or politics which these voters consider consider right, and they might cast those votes to these candidates. So party, personal attributes, and issue. These are three major elements that could influence decision-making of voters. And so, of course, there are also many other factors that could influence the behavior of voters. Social classes, education, income, age, gender, geography, where you live, and who you are, what is your ethnic identity. All these are factors that can influence certain voters to cast their votes to certain candidate. Well, so from election, we can do a lot of research, many graphics, many numbers, many data could be generated from this data pool. So there are many scholars are doing researches related to election, and by analyzing election, they try to understand how people think, why people change, and how candidate can win or lose in certain campaign or election. Well, for example, this Charles Prisby, he analyzes the behavior of American voters, and they are divided into rich voter, poor voter, red voters, and blue voter. And I also get a graphic from, I believe that it must be one of the election held in the Great Britain, where we can see those young people aged from between 18 to 19, they will vote majorly, overwhelmingly to the Labour Party. And as you can see on the graphic, the more people get older, maybe they will become more conservative. As you can see that in the age of 70 years old, those old people will vote overwhelmingly to the Conservative Party. So age is also a very important factor from which we can see different attitude among different generation. In fact, we are getting closer and closer to the main objective of this course, which is to read data, to read statistics, because if we want to learn, if we want to know what people think, what is expressed in the public opinion, then we have to learn how to read all these numbers. Well, for example, in election, even invaded votes, they were studying. Well, quite differently from here in Taiwan, when French people vote, they put the voting paper into in an envelope. So what is called vote blanc or vote nul, these are in fact a different kind of invaded voting. For example, if the envelope is empty, then it is a vote blanc. If you put something else in the envelope, it is called vote nul. So all these people who conduct invaded vote, what's in their mind? What do they want to protest? What are all these reasons who make these voters to conduct invaded vote? This is also a more and more interesting concern that many scholars are doing research. So as you can see on the graphic, from 1981 to 2017, the percentage of invaded vote is on progression. So we have the freedom to speak. We have the freedom to participate in politics. We have the freedom to vote. But what happened when people go voting, but they cast an invaded vote? So this is also a very, very important social phenomenon, political phenomenon that worth studying. And as you can see on the graphic, the deeper the color blue represent more people they conduct invaded vote. As you can see on the graphic, that it seems that people living in the southern parts of the France, they tend to cast invaded vote in election, whereas in the northern part of the France, those people conducting or casting invaded vote tend to be fewer. So geographic factor, they also can tell us something happened in the French society. Here come to the end point of this session. So I also said that just a moment. We are getting closer and closer to the core of this special lesson, because in this lesson we want everybody to know statistics, numbers, or graphic could be wrong or misleading. We can measure public opinion, but these graphic statistics or numbers or figures or whatever that could be wrong, falsified, or not necessarily telling the truth. All these statistics or data, they might tell you the truth that the people doing research want to tell you. So when scientists, well, the hard scientists, they are studying graphic or statistics in order to understand the nature or climate change. And so this politician, well, the word politician in English is a positive word, but in French, politicien means something else. Maybe we will take the chance to analyze these interesting linguistic aspects furthermore in our lessons. So as usual, until next session, please stay tuned and hope to see you again. Au revoir, à la prochaine.